today we're going to be making these 7-layer oatmeal chocolate chip cookie bars. These sound amazing, they're really easy. And first I'm going to show you guys how to make the crust, and then I'll show you how to do the toppings. Yeah, let's get started. All right, so I already have everything laid out right here, and I'm going to start with 1 1/4 of a cup of old-fashioned oatmeal. And I started first by washing my hands, but I'm just adding that into a large mixing bowl. And then I am going to use 1 cup of flour. And then I'm gonna use 1/4 cup of pure grain sugar, or pure cane sugar, sorry. And then another 1/4 cup of light brown sugar. This one's different than just brown sugar. A 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda and then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. A 1/2 cup of canola oil. One egg. And then 2 teaspoons of pure vanilla extract. I have a 1/2 teaspoon, so I just have to do 4 of these. All right. And now we are going to mix this all together. I'm gonna use this big spoon to mix all my crust together. You want to mix it really well so you don't get any chunks of flour in there. And while we're mixing this, I'm going to preheat my oven to 350. So now it's preheating, and I'm still mixing this. We want to make sure we have it, oops. We want to make sure we have it mixed all the way. And it's gonna start clumping, that's okay, just keep mixing. All right, mine's looking pretty mixed. Now we're going to add are half a cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. Whew, I almost spilled mine. All right, and this cup had a little bit of oil on it, but that's okay. All right, now we're just gonna mix these in, but gently. We don't wanna mess up the chocolate chips. All right, I am going to grease this pan with some room temp butter because I don't have any spray. So I'm just going to take some of this butter and I'm just gonna grease my pan with it with a paper towel. And this will help it not stick. Just make sure you get it everywhere. And it will be perfect. All right, and then I'm going to pour in my mixture. And I'm gonna press it down into this pan. You're gonna wanna make sure your chocolate chips don't clump. So here's a clump of chocolate chips. I'm just going to smash this. All right. If you have some clumps, just break them apart. And you're gonna smush your crust down so it's nice and even. All right, so your crust will look something like this. And then you're gonna put this in the oven for 5 minutes. My oven is preheated. I'm just going to stick the crust in for 5 minutes. Make sure to ask for help when you do this. In the oven, I am going to chop my cup of nuts. All right, now please be very careful when you do this. You can have an adult help you. I honestly am not very good at chopping things either. I think what I'm gonna do is kind of bunch these nuts up and then chop easily. So I get them very finely chopped. All right, so now we're gonna start with our cup and 1/3 cup of coconut flakes. All right, and we're just gonna sprinkle those all on top. Be careful because it's still very hot. And then 1/3 cup. All right, and then 1/2 cup of semi-sweet chocolate chips. We're just gonna sprinkle those over. Make sure to get them even. And then a half a cup of milk chocolate chips. All right, and I'm just gonna sprinkle the milk chocolate chips all over. This is going to be very chocolatey for the chocolate lovers. Oops. There's some stuff at the bottom, so I'm just gonna put some more where there's not any. And then now I'm going to do a cup of the butterscotch chips, which is going to be so good. This is what's gonna make it so yummy. All right, and then we're going to pour over our sweetened condensed milk. And then we are going to do our cup of finely chopped nuts over the top. We're just gonna sprinkle those in here. So we're gonna put this in the oven for 25 minutes at the same temperature. The oven is still turned on, which again, this is still hot. And it's very heavy, so be careful. All right, so I set a timer for 25 minutes and we're gonna let that bake. And then we're gonna let it cool to room temperature before we cut it. It's been 25 minutes. Our cookie bars are looking delicious, golden brown. And we're gonna take this out. It's gonna be very hot, very heavy, so be careful. So we're gonna let these set to room temperature and then we can eat them.